time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Gargle, google, goo.
What?
Now you know how it feels. What are you talking about?
So you might be wondering why I used Martin's Arble Garble Google Goop statement in the beginning of this video, and I have to say it's because I'm going to describe a Kabuki dance. Okay? Kabuki dance number 1, because I think it's a great bit of, I don't know, it's what happens in DC happens in Hollywood. So, Original Sin, written by the ever pretentious lying sack of shit Jack Taper, basically goes into how the mainstream media covered up the fact that Joe Biden has dementia. And the last 4 years, you could see him getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Shaking hands with invisible beings, going off on tangents. We knew he was sick when he debated Donald Trump in 2020. I mean, corn pop? The fuck was he talking about? The hairs on his legs? And how kids like to, yuck. Okay, the guy was failing. And the mainstream media, with the White House staff, did what I would call the cover-up, DC style, the Kabuki dance. What you see is not what's really going on. Your eyes can deceive you. Don't believe anything anybody's saying. Republican congressmen leaving meetings with him, telling the media he's lost. The man is absolutely lost. And the mainstream media, telling people he's as sharp as a tack. Karen Jean-Pierre, the DEI hire White House spokesperson for him, just left the Democrat Party and wrote her own tell-all book. And it's basically about the cover-up of Joe Biden's very obvious dementia. But let's talk about this article that just came up from THR, Inside Hollywood's Succession Wars. And they talk about a lot of different things, but mostly it's about who's going to come up and replace Bob Iger. And of course, everybody from the inside, we do not want Dana Walden, okay? And of course, they have to say she's number 1 because she's the chick. We've got Alan Bergman, Josh D'Amaro, The Parks, and Jimmy Pitaro from ESPN. They could easily look at someone from the outside. The board is actually looking at people from the outside, just FYI. But the article mentions Kathleen Kennedy and the succession at Lucasfilm. And they basically said, and I quote, her esteemed, I'm paraphrasing, esteemed but controversial reign at Lucasfilm. Okay, so we're just supposed to ignore the destruction of 3 prominent franchises because she is not the esteemed producer that we've all been told she was? This is the Kabuki dance, is what I'm talking about here. There's absolutely nothing true about the statements they made about Kathleen Kennedy in the article, and everybody knows it in Hollywood. Matt Bellany, in his tirade at Mike Fleming at Deadline and Kennedy's PR agent and Kennedy herself, said as much, period. But let's talk more.
What an odd combination of odors. Smells like a fish died and all the other fish sent flowers.
Trusty adage, starve a cold, disgust a fever.
That one just drew a pentagram on the floor and chanted, "I summon thee," 3 times. Excuse me, Niles, but I've got news for you. Copernicus called, and you are not the center of the universe.
She lost all of them.
So you're saying she's had trouble finding her niche?
No, I'm saying she's a dodo. Now, you may love a dodo. You may think the dodo is beautiful. You may even wish to marry the dodo. But you do not encourage a dodo to fly.
And here we have where she was outed for her incompetence without having someone basically say it out loud. Steven Spielberg humiliated her at the LA premiere of Dial of Destiny in front of all of Hollywood with Harrison Ford and George Lucas and James Mangold and John Williams standing there. Kennedy was obviously humiliated, but this is where the Kabuki dance disappeared. They all knew the movie wasn't going to do well, and it was her fault. It was absolutely her fault. And the thing about what she did was basically made sure Steven Spielberg left the production before they started filming as director. He wasn't going to do it. Decided, I think, in February of March of 2001 or 2002. And because he knew the movie was going to be bad, that the script wasn't good, casting Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the mouth of landed gentry British women as Helena Shaw was a horrible, horrible choice. And the movie, the first 20 minutes were good, right? The second weren't. And it's a testament to Kathleen Kennedy's mismanagement that people have had to quietly ignore, but only in public because, damn well the Hollywood cocktail set talked about it. But let's see Spielberg again in his glory humiliate her.
Hwoods is the glue to all 5 of these films that gave us all of our rhythm and all of our melody. The great maestro, John Williams.
So what we're seeing is Steven Spielberg, in the subtext of his statement, completely ignoring Kennedy and her husband, saying, "This movie sucks. I will not acknowledge her existence to you people for all the reasons we talk about at the cocktail parties. She's incompetent. She's a failure on her own. And her storied career is a bunch of bullshit propaganda." All right? And that's what he's saying. I mean, Kennedy is nobody without him. Nobody without him and George Lucas. And when she went off without them, pissing them off or just not letting them in, she failed miserably. And this is the Kabuki dance because nobody in Hollywood will publicly acknowledge her horrible leadership at Lucasfilm. They won't. And it's the same way that the mainstream media and the Democrat Party covered up for Joe Biden. And it's bullshit because the fans could see it. The box office numbers don't lie. The lack of selling merchandise doesn't lie. There's only so much you can do blaming Disney when you have to look at why did they keep her around, right? So what you get in Washington, cover-ups, the finger pointing afterwards, basically admitting to the world, yeah, he's got dementia, and we were covering it up, no apology. This is going to be Hollywood 6 months from now. Yeah, she did a bad job at Lucasfilm, but we didn't say anything for reasons. Everything you saw that you complained about was real. That's exactly what we're getting with this article. Period. Let alone wanting to see Carrie Beck be the co-chair at Lucasfilm with Dave Filoni. Neither of those two have the chops to do that. And from what Sparrow has said, basically Jon Favreau has been leading Lucasfilm. I hate to tell you that, Brian Nebrick, WDW Pro, and that Park Place, but it's the truth. Anyway, I just had to say something, guys, because this is really frustrating. Because the mainstream media and the trades in Hollywood would not admit, to the point they protected her, how bad she was at her job. Just wait for the books, because there will be books. This is Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy.